All right, ladies and gentlemen, today you're doing volume of rectangular prisms and volume of cylinders. On this first page, which is the first page that you have on the worksheet, I'm going to show you a couple of examples. Every single example is, every single practice problem is exactly the same. There are no differences in what you do with this. So, the first one, number one. So our volume formula is equal to length times width times height. That is literally all we have to do. Take those three dimensions and multiply them. So in this particular case, we have length of 9, a width of 3, and a height of 6. Now, it really doesn't matter which one you call length, which one you call width, and which one you call height. But if you take a look at the shape, the side that's facing you is 9 units long. The side that goes from the front to the back, which we would call our width, that is 3 units long. And then the side that goes from the bottom to the top is 6 units long. So it makes sense to call those the length, the width, and the height. And then we simply take those and we multiply. So I'm going to multiply 9 times 3, which is 27, and multiply that times 6, and I get 162. So the volume of this three-dimensional shape is 162 units. Now let's take a look at the notes, or the instructions here. It says they're all measured in centimeters. So every one of these units is centimeters for the entire page. Never have to change a thing. You put the centimeters down after 162, and then you show that that's cubed because it's a three-dimensional object. Okay, that's all there is to that first one. Second one, same exact plan. Volume is equal to length times width times height. And so we just plug in 7 for the length. The width from front to back is 3, and the height from bottom to top is also 3. So we take 7 times 3, which is 21, and 21 times 3 is going to give you 63 centimeters cubed. Now, I don't need to show you any more of those because that is exactly what you do for the front and back of the first page. Okay? So, second page, we're looking at cylinders. A little more involved than the rectangular prisms, but the volume is pretty simple. Volume is equal to pi times the radius squared times the height. We're simply multiplying these things. Okay, now I'm fine with you using 3.14 to approximate pi. If you did that, in this particular case, it would be 3.14 times the radius squared. Again, the radius is the measurement from the center of the circle to the outside. So we're going to take that times 6 squared. Remember, when you type in the 6, then you hit the x squared button. And then we're multiplying that by the height, which is 11. So in my calculator, I type in 3.14 times 6x squared times 11, and I get a value of 1243.44. In this case, these are meters, so down here I'm going to write the volume. So please make sure you write the final answer down here. If it asks you to round, or if you need to round, I should say, usually when we use 3.14, it will give us only 2 decimal places. But if you should happen to need to round, just remember 4 and below, let it go, 5 and above, give it a shove. This is meters, and it's also a three-dimensional object, so it's meters cubed. Same idea with the next problem. Number 2, again, when they tilt these things on their side like this, don't get confused. The circle is your base, Okay, so you're trying to find the area of that base, which is just a circle. So again, volume is equal to pi times radius squared times height. And it doesn't hurt to write that down a few times so you get used to what the formula is. So we just take pi, the approximation, 3.14, and we multiply it by 4 squared, and we multiply that by 13. So again, if I pick up my calculator and go 3.14 times 4x squared times 13, I get 653.12. Okay, so I rewrite that down here, and I write my units cubed, or to the third power. And that is all there is to it. I've given you 2 examples. Everything else is exactly the same. Just continue to plug in your radius and your height. That's all you have to do. The only difference you might see is something like number 3, where you have a diameter of 10. And every time you see a diameter, you need the radius, so you have to cut that in 2 to give you the radius. So 10 divided by 2 is going to equal 5. So your radius is 5. Same idea with number 4. You have to cut that in 2. 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. So that's your radius. That's the value you use in the formula. Okay? Have fun, behave yourselves, go for it, and try to make sure you get, at the very least, most of this done before the end of the period. This will be graded. Thank you. Have fun.